Oh, you just caught me reading in my workshop. So, pardon me. Let me not lose my place in my book. And, oh, this is what we're going to make today, is this. It's easy, and holidays are coming, and people of all ages can make a really cool and funky bookmark just like this. It's easy. Continue this, the topical sort of, I think we're calling them mini-series. With these mini-series, you know, we have some that are fire making, maybe stuff to do with sustainable living, stuff to do with home construction. They're all kind of elements of my life, and since I'm a teacher, I like to share what I love. And I like to see people do new things, and things that they may have never tried, and then they realize, oh man, maybe I can try that. And then they actually do it, and then they're like, whoa, look at what I made. This is awesome. And then that just opens up more doors for everybody. So I thought this is something that's just so fun to do because nobody really thinks about it. Is just making cool things out of wire, because wire is generally pretty easy to find. You may have seen a video or two previous to this one where we were making pins out of iron wire and copper wire. Some different ways of just basically manipulating wire. I want to carry on that theme. Here we have some different kinds of wire that you might be able to find. Look at this. This is like really thin. I don't know if you can see how thin that is. It's like about as thick as horsehair. You can get wire, copper wire that's this thick out of like extension cords or an old lamp that's defunct and it's going to be thrown into the trash. Take the plastic off of that coating, or take the plastic coating off the wire, and inside is this copper wire. Well, you can use that. You can save it, and we'll make stuff out of it. Then you get into a little bit thicker kind of wire. This happens to be brass wire, but you can find copper wire, iron wire. We go up, and we go up into increments of like how big it is until finally I scored this awesome wire that's pretty big, and I don't want to see it go to waste. How are you going to happen across wire like this? Sometimes you can go to scrap yards, like scrap metal yards. Sometimes you can go to craft stores, and sometimes you're just lucky enough to find stuff like this. And if you really look online, if you're serious about it, you can find this kind of wire, and it comes in what's called gauges. This is really thick. I'm definitely going to make something cool out of this, and we'll do a whole video on that. But remember, we're working up incrementally. So we did some basic wire pins that were really cool. We did a bracelet that was essentially simple, but you don't have to tell people how simple it was to make. You can give it as a gift and they'll be like, whoa, that's rad, you made it. You don't have to tell them that it was so easy to make, because they don't know that because they've never tried it. So I'm going to take a couple different size wires that I think are just different. I got 2 different ones. So those first little tutorial how-to videos, DIY videos, were making some cool things with tools that you might find around the house. You gotta remember, I've been a professional artist most all my life. You know, I paid for my first house with my artwork business. So you can make a living at it, but that's not what's important. What's important is that you're handy and you know that you're capable of working with your hands and having an imagination and putting it to use. And then at the end of the day, you have something actually tactile, some take-home stuff. And making art is a great way to share not only a little bit of who you are, but you can share it as a gift. Where was I getting at? Sorry, went off on a tangent. Those first couple things that we made were things that you can find around the house. You might be lucky enough to have a few more tools at hand, or know somebody that has a little bit more stuff around the house. Like you might have a grandpa that's more handy, or it could be a really handy grandma. You know, who knows? But what we're going to use today is here's a vise. So you might want to come over here and take a look at this vise. We all have vices, but this is an actual bench vise, okay? Like so. Okay. I'm going to show you how to straighten some wire. You can use either a pair of pliers, or, you know, if you don't have a pair of pliers, you can use a screwdriver. You can just wrap it around a couple times. And just say, for example, a lot of times when you find wire, it's like all bent up like this. So you just go like this and pull it, kind of go like this. Okay, so that's nice and straight. And like I said, you can use a pair of pliers. If you can use a pair of pliers, just kink it on the end like that, and it just works better. Okay, that's pretty nice and straight, yeah? Cool. Take your little. Okay, so you got your wire right here. On our last episodes, we had a file. Here's a file right here. Make it because I don't want to have a jagged end that's going to cut anybody. And support it against the side. You don't want to go like this and like file because you're going to bend your wire. So just go right there, and make it like you saw in our other videos. We're going to make it just kind of like a little hot dog. Okay. Cool and easy. Now for the other end. This time I'm going to make it sharp. Remember, like in one of the for our pins, we had it. We wanted to make a real sharp end that'll go through clothes. Well, you can kind of get a sharp end going. At least just make it thinner on the end is what we're trying to accomplish with this one. Come on, work with me. There we go. Remember, files are all unidirectional. If you wound up bending your wire because you were so rough at filing, an easy way to straighten some things out is taking a hammer. I got a little rawhide hammer, but you can find like a rubber mallet or even a hammer if you just had a hammer. But go just gentle taps and go on something flat. This is relatively straight. And hammer down all the high edges. Cool and easy. Now, I think I have one end is kind of nice and friendly and hot dog like, and this one is sharp and pokey. But this isn't going to be a pin. I'm going to take another pair of pliers. A lot of you might have some big pliers like this around the house, but this is, as we're moving up in stages, we're gonna have a little bit more some more specialized tools. So I have a nice little, I have some little needle nose pliers. If you have little needle nose pliers of different forms, that'll be helpful. These are even better pliers. They're harder to find. And see how that's like a circle? Like that? Cool. And you can take that and keep wrapping it around. Now, if you have something like a pair of pliers like this, probably your initial circle is going to be a little bit bigger. So now I'm making a nice little spiral, which is fun. I like it. You got that? Good, and I'm just adding it up. See how nice that is? Now you can take something like this. You can take your pliers. Is that a good angle for you?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. Let's see if I can just make a couple more, because it's kind of fun.
Hazen, how hard is that?
How hard is this?
How hard do you have to push on that?
This is easy. It's pretty easy, but I'm keeping the jaws of my vise real close to my bend, so you have more control. And I'm just gonna kind of have a cool little bookend like that. Now, you have this. You can, if you want, this is a little bit harder, but you can bend a little bit more, and then you can actually go back if you feel like it and open that up and kind of have it go incrementally. So I'm opening it up a little bit more, so it's kind of like that. Is that cool? Now, with your pliers, you can kind of use your fingers and kind of massage that over. Okay. So this is a nice little bookmark. So this is a really long one. But you know, if you're reading your book and then you go, oh yeah, nice little cool little bookmark that's a little bit funkier and cooler than normal. But this is really long. It's going to poke somebody. Of course, you've got options in this world. So if you want to, you can always just trim this down and then round that over. Or you can continue to get funky. You can use up some of that slack. And how about do some cool little spirals? You know, I like getting funky. Just taking up some of that.
So you're choosing to build your design before you trim off the bottom.
Yeah, well, I'm just kind of making up space.
You don't know yet, right? You're just kind of going with what you feel.
It's like I made my wire too long, but it's cool. It's not the end of the day. It's kind of rad. There I made it. Okay. So then you can kind of make it like that, kind of make it funky. If you want to make it a little bit even funkier, you can take this vise where you got another flat part. And remember, in our pins, we just added a little bit more character to our wire. If we felt like kind of making the wire a little bit more dynamic, is what I call it. On the very ends, I can kind of clear those out. Just make it look a little bit more custom. Just add a little bit more interest to the wire. Kind of like thick and thins is kind of like what I like to say. A little bit more interesting, like that. It's still a little long, I will admit, but I'm just giving you options in this world. And this is a pretty cool little book. And if you want a nice little bookmark like that, it's cool, man. Is that easy? Now, thinking about others in this world, you have a reader. One of your friends likes to read books. Your mom loves to read books. Whoever likes to read books, you can make that and be handy. And yeah, that's it. Quick and simple. If you like what you've just seen, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.